Hello, Plymouth High School, and it's May 15th, and I'm trying something new today. Long story short, I get tired of writing a bunch of emails, and I'm sure some of you get tired of reading them, and I think some of us live in a world where just a quick video update might help. So, trying something new, see if it works. If it's something you like, maybe we'll keep going. If not, um, maybe it'll be a one-time shot. So, it's a beautiful Friday, May 15th, like I said, and just want to get some information out to um, basically K through 8 students. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Uh, Try 12 through 8th students. So our seniors down to our 8th graders, incoming freshmen for next year. So one more week to go, but obviously those seniors will be out, and we'll talk about some of the things that might affect them. But also then the 8th graders will be incoming freshmen. You'll need to be included in some of this and hear that. And there's actually information all the way down to incoming 5th graders. So the current 4th graders can maybe need to hear some of this too. So with that, I'm going to get started. So first thing is physicals. The 2021 physical. PCSC has always used the IHSAA physical. There'll be a link in the information that I send to you to that physical. The association ruled that if due to the circumstances of COVID going on right now, if you would like to use as parents the physical from last year to count for the 2021 season, you are free to do that. And so we will be doing that here at PCSC. We are going to ask you to opt into that. That'll be part of the final forms process, which I'll talk about here in a second. But basically, they gave that okay, partly to ease your concerns when it's time. It's going to be hard to maybe get into your family physician or someone that can do the physical, and also to help the medical community as well. People that will need a physical still are the incoming 5th graders, so our current 4th graders. If you plan to participate in a sport at Riverside this year as a 5th grader, you will need to do that. If you did not participate in a sport last year, you will need to download the physical form and schedule a physical with a doctor or medical professional that can do that. And those that maybe if you're watching this and you're transferring in from Plymouth for some reason from out of state, if you do not have a current IHSAA physical form from this current year, you need to go ahead and get a physical as well. The last group of people that we maybe would encourage would be those that are maybe had some challenges physically this year, whatever the case may be, had to see a doctor, and you have concerns, it'd probably be wise to go ahead and get that physical at this point. So otherwise, you have the choice of opting in, and like I said, that'll be done in the final form process. So speaking of that, final forms roll over today, May 15th. I know that was a tough start last year. It took a little bit of time. Some of you were a little frustrated. I just did this last night at midnight, signing my own kids' documents. I actually took much longer than what a lot of you will take because I was just reading and making sure all the documents were where they needed to be. We did include or update a few things. One document that we did include was the physical waiver form. And basically, that's a place that'll make you pause and say, yes, I'd like to go ahead and use my 1920 physical for my 2021, or you will have the option of saying, no, I will not. Again, those people that I just talked about, that 4th grade parents, all the other ones, I won't go back through it, but you will need to hit no at that moment, and that will be your indication you need to get the physical. So those are the I guess the final forms. Like I said, within that final forms, you will also need to update any medical conditions, things like that, insurance. So please take a moment and just scan through. There are a few within the medical information which create our emergency medical for those situations that may occur when we're out, being part of the athletics. There can be things that occur that we need to act quickly on and pull up. So this is information that needs to be accurate for us so we can help medical professionals treat your kid should the emergency arise. So these are things we pull up and show the medical professionals so that we have accurate information. At the high school level, so this is for the current eighth graders, sorry, ninth, 10th, and 11th graders, you will still need to sign your documents as well. Not all of them, but there are some that you'll see once the parents get done with their part. You will need to sign your documents. It's a little tough for our freshmen because their emails have not been released for the high school just yet, and probably won't be till day one. There's some things we have to work through there. So if you have an individual email, that's fine. I'd like it to be your school email, but it's fine. And again, the nice thing about Final Forms is like if you haven't done all the steps, you'll be red there. You won't be eligible. I will tell you this: you will need to have filled in, parents, the physical part of this. If you're opting into the physical, you will need to have done your part and said, "I'm doing that." As long as you've done that, if we get to the place during the summer where we can start practicing and doing some things, you'll be good to go. If you have not got your physical yet and you say no to that, you won't be allowed to participate, or your child won't be allowed to participate. So the student signature part is important to be done before the season starts, but we realize there's some challenges there for our freshmen, and so we'd be willing to help you with any of that. Okay. If you have any questions, like I said, Mrs. Chris is a great one to call. I'll have a number at the end that'll give you a chance to write down. I would recommend the high school number right now with given what's going on. So we'll work through that. Next, key points of Final Forms, I guess I should say. Sign for the 2021 school year. That starts today. Like I said, I'll go through this quickly. It has the physical waiver form. It will have the $5 registration form. I have the high school address. You can send and mail that in if you'd like. You can also wait till the day we start moving towards actual participation, and that might be wiser on your part, honestly. But if you're someone that likes to get things done out of the way, you can mail that. Just make sure in the envelope you drop, this is for Johnny or Susie or whoever, and so we can mark who has paid for the registration. Okay. PHS students, like I said, need to sign, and like I said, the PCS emails first day of school for our freshmen, and then print and submit the updated physical and or insurance form. So basically, when you get to the very last step of all this, we want that documentation to be, it'll give you the option of printing the entire physical. Within that physical is the doctor portion. If and when you print that, you do not need to do the doctor portion if you opted in for the waiver. If you chose to just carry that over, essentially, you don't have to do the doctor part of it. But we do want to have an updated paper copy of the physical form, both from your medical information and also the insurance information. That has to be accurate as well. So it's kind of like the first couple pages and then the last page, which is usually, I think, 5. So those are things that we will need. We can help you with that if printing's not a problem. Just again, let us know and we can help with that. But we'll need that to be signed and dated and up to date. So the nice thing about, again, Final Forms, the last thing I'll say about that is if you go ahead and do the Final Forms part first rather than just print a blank one, it'll take all that information you answer in Final Forms and actually create that nice document for your medical side of it. You won't have to rewrite everything in. So maybe the insurance part on the last page you might have to write in, but other than that, it'll kind of update and create that for you. So I would recommend doing the Final Forms process first. Also within that, please identify which sports you believe your child is going to participate in for the 2021 season. We will use that information to help get the coaches connected with you so that you get the updated information from them on any kind of workouts, things like that we may be doing. Okay. Next, this is for the high school. Mr. Condon's already communicated this, but Tuesday, May 26th, from 8 to 12, 5 to 7, you will be able to come and pick up any items from the high school that we may have. It includes athletic lockers and other regular lockers. Anything in the building that might be yours, we're going to have that ready to go, including BSN orders. I believe we will have all those ready to go and to hand to you when you drive up. So you'll get one big package. For some of you, it'll be a really, really big package because your athletic lockers were amazingly full. And so we, we had some struggles figuring out who was who and figuring all that out, but we've got them for the most part. We're probably 95% there. And so some of you, I'm surprised you still have clothes. Some of you parents, I would strongly urge your child at the high school level to learn how to do their own laundry when they comes home with all that stuff that have been sitting in an athletic locker for the last 3 months. But anyways, that's going to be coming with you along with, like I said, the BSN orders and stuff you will need to drop off. You get that all done at one time. The other date is Wednesday, May 27th, 7 to 9 a.m. and 3 to 6 p.m. So I didn't add a.m. and p.m., but the top lines there are morning times. The bottom of those two are afternoon times or evening times. Okay? And the final thing I'm going to talk about today, the PCSE buildings are closed through June 30th. I think it was May 6th. Well, it was actually May 1st when the governor came out and talked about his plan to get back, 5-phase plan to get back to where we need to be. Included in that is all PCSE buildings, grounds, maintenance, all that kind of stuff is closed. So we're not allowed to have practice. We're not allowed to have practice offsite either. Our coaches know that. At this point, we are going to do some things to try to help get kids in shape. Through the month of June, we got a team of coaches that are working hard to kind of put a package together for strength and conditioning. And I'm sure some of your sport coaches will be in contact about some skill work you might be able to do at home. I know it's not ideal, but it's certainly a great time to kind of separate ourselves from other schools that might not be doing those things. So if you can kind of build that bond with your teammates and maybe the rest of us, and we get after that strength and conditioning, take that advantage that we might have over others, we'll come into July a little bit better shape and we can really hit the ground running. We don't know exactly what July 1st will look like, and that'll lead me into the next part. Moratorium is canceled. That was another thing. I think that was the May 6th announcement from the IHSAA that said we're going to go ahead and cancel moratorium this year simply because we don't have the month of June. Now, some of you may be a little excited right now because you're like, well, we had a trip planned, and maybe you're thinking about going still because we've been cooped up, and hopefully we're allowed to kind of do things a little bit more. But long story short, we are not going to penalize kids if they're going on a family vacation or something like that. It's not like, all right, well, it's canceled. We expect you to be here. That's not what's going to go on when we first get back. So really, July 1 is right now at this moment, which could change, is potentially a day where we would be able to kind of start that process of getting together. Now, as we look at that, we're going to try to be wise and build a plan and get safety officials, health officials, everything we can do to keep people safe when we start that process of transferring back into hopefully what is a normal routine. So that plan will be communicated at a later date, but know that's kind of your timing with all that. And again, there's links to some of these things that were announced. I'll have that in that email. So with that, we are Big Red. I know it's been a tough go, and we've hopefully found a little bit of rhythm and routine. I know it wasn't easy at first, and it probably wasn't easy to finish, but we'll be finished by next week, next Friday. And, at that point, we'll kind of turn our focus to what we can do through the summer to kind of get ready for hopefully a season, right? And get ready for that school year. And who knows right now what that all looks like? We'll keep going over the hurdles that we have in front of us when we come to them. Okay. Here's the contact information. That's my email. You're welcome to send that send the question to me. You got Mr. Parker's our assistant athletic director. He's been great with some of the things that we've been doing digitally and trying to do some digital signings, things like that. Mrs. Chris is our do everything. She's a Final Forms expert. So if you do have a Final Forms question, she's probably laughing right now, but she definitely digs into it a lot more than us. So you'd be happy. You're welcome to email her. And even at the lower grades, you're welcome to do that. So if you're got a 5th or a 8th grader or whatever, you're welcome to email her, and she should be able to kind of direct you or help you with that. And then our numbers there, we're not in the office all the time. In fact, we're in there very infrequently, but the number does ring in. So if you leave a message, we get it into our email, and we then know we need to get back to someone. So leave a message, leave a callback number. We'd be happy to do that. Miss Gilbert, the athletic director at the junior high in Riverside, is also her contact information's there, and she'd be happy to help you as well. So with that, I'm going to close it up. There are some things coming down. I'd like to announce some things next week as far as our Big Red Card. We are going to do some things to try to help the local community. So we'll talk about that and just a couple other things, some lettering from the spring sports. So we'll kind of update you next week with a few other things, but that should be enough for now. And we hope everybody has a great weekend, and hopefully this weather will warm up and you can get out and enjoy some of that sunshine. All right. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.